Hi, and welcome to Android Coliseum number 109. It is April 8th, 2015, and this is where Canadians talk about the state of Android in Canada. Tonight we have Ryan. Say hello, Ryan.
Bonjour.
And Sylvain, who's just down the road from me. And
Yes,
me.
it's up the road from me.
Yeah, just up the road from you. So we have the same weather. How is
Yep.
it out there, Ryan?
We had a very weird flurry of snow this morning, like after being quite warm and like 10 degrees or so, and then a weird flurry of snow, and then it disappeared. It got a little cool. So it's just like one of those things like you can just tell winter is just not leaving yet.
We're just in between.
It just reminds you. It's Canada after all.
We had to drive into Edmonton, and like you said, we drove into Edmonton yesterday, and the day before it had been gorgeous, and yesterday it was super slippery first thing in the morning. So it was just like little teeth clenching at the beginning of the drive. But enough about the weather. Let's talk about Android. So Martin is not with us today because he's at DroidCon, or he's on his way to DroidCon. So talk about that a little bit, Ryan. What is that?
So for those of you who are unaware of DroidCon, when we've only mentioned it I think 100 times in the show, but still, DroidCon, basically think about it as the Android enthusiast sort of convention. Think of like a Comic-Con, but for Android. Now this one does have a tendency of more of a tilt towards the developer side. So if you take a look at, I'll just bring it up online right here. Right? Why not? DroidCon. So have a number of speeches and stuff going on. Let me just pull it up here. So 2 days. So tomorrow and the 10th. So Thursday and Friday. It's going to be a ton of speakers. Building SDKs, mobile virtual reality, preventing analytics and ads, using libraries, spanners. Spanner in the works is a workshop that's written by Mike Wallace, our friend Mike Wallace from Rise Software, who we met plenty of time in this before. But a bunch of different topics that are going on. Like there's just a wealth to choose from. So I think Martin's going to have his his work cut out for him to try to keep track of as many as possible, and as well as we'll see what other kind of booths are going on there. And I'm just really jealous of. Yeah, he's in Dans la Belle Provence, and he's going to have a lot of fun down there and meet all the other Android enthusiasts. So if you're in Montreal or you're going to DroidCon Montreal, drop in and say hi to Martin for us.
Yes. And, since he does have that IT background, it's not like he's just a spectator.
No, this will definitely be something that he'll be able to sink some of his teeth into. I mean, as well as we've went to Android TO before. It also is a developer conference, but I mean a lot of it is over my head. But what I would go for, and I think Martin as well, it's nice to see what people are doing with the Android ecosystem and how versatile it really is and what it can do. So.
Yeah. Another guy I know that's going is Stéphane Fauché. I think he just finished school for programming in Android.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Because you don't see a lot of that in Canada. Like that's one thing I know we've talked about in my circles is there's not a lot of computer programming courses, like app development type courses at certain like colleges or universities. It's sort of still stuck in about 5 years ago, and then you hope you figure it out on your own when you get out of school, right? So.
Yeah. Well, I think he just finished a 1-year program.
Cool.
Sorry, I had to let the dog out, and that's kind of distracting when I'm moving around.
No problem.
So let's move on to some other news. We know there's an event coming up with LG, and they've been teasing some stuff, and Ryan is our LG fan, so.
Oh yes, LG.
And the photography fan. So what have you got?
Yeah, so LG. I mean, if you go and you look on the internet, you'll see tons of rumors and people leaking and specking on what the LG G4 is going to look like. So we do know that on April 28th they will announce the LG G4. So that is a guarantee. We do know that the LG G4 will have an f1.8 aperture, which, if those of you remember your camera specs, the aperture is the width of the aperture, so how much light it will let in. So this is probably one of the biggest, I think actually is the biggest, f-stop for a mobile camera. So that's a lot of light you can let in. So that means you can do more in less light conditions, i.e. bars, or we don't have to worry about putting on a flash. So, and that's all we really know so far. We don't know sensor size. We don't know megapixel count. We don't know RAM or storage or processor, although we can probably speculate. We can probably speculate pretty closely on what the screen is going to be, because they just announced a screen a couple weeks ago, a 5.5-inch Quad HD display, not rectangular. Well, I mean 16 by 9. It's going to be that, but it's supposed to have a 60% color improvement in the color reproduction. But other than that, we don't really know a lot about it. But that being said, it sounds like some lucky 4,000 people are going to get a chance to play with it before April 28th. Part of their consumer experience program. So they're looking for 4,000 people. So stay tuned to their information on their social media, so Twitter, YouTube, etc., and how you can get into that. I know I've been talking to our contact at LG, and she is just teasing the crap out of me. Like, oh, there's a lot of great news information. Oh, you just keep waiting, Ryan. Don't worry. And I'm chomping at the bit here. So the idea being here is that they're going to have some sort of contest or activity that you'll have to do to be a qualified person to be in this consumer program. Out of 15 countries, they're going to select 4,000 people. Of these 4,000 people, you'll get the phone, and apparently you only get it for 30 days, and they want your feedback. You'll have specific activities to do for it, certain tasks to try out on it, and they want your feedback. Now,
that's awesome.
That'd be so cool. Wouldn't that be cool before anyone else gets it? That'd be so neat. Now, again, I don't know when the people are going to get these phones, because, would they give it to the phones before they make the announcement? To me, in my mind, it would make sense to give it to these people, make them sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and get all that feedback and bring it to the April 28th event.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but then you take a look at the timeline, just doesn't work out. So they're going to announce it. They're going to get people who are going to be, and maybe part of the announcement is going to be, and here are the 4,000 people that get one. Black, congratulations. And the phone is not going to be available for 2 months or a month or whatever, which even April 28th is still a month earlier than they announced it last year. So, there are people to play with it a month early and then release it out to the world, let's say June or something like that, after people have been able to give their rave reviews for it. So we'll see how that goes. I know I'm desperately going to try to get one, because that would be my 4th LG phone in a row. I had the Nexus 4, I had the G2.
You are a fan.
It's a great phone, and I'm really saddened when I called TD Bank the other day to bitch and moan about their app and why I can't add NFC payment. And the guy blatantly at one point said, well, those rare phones like the LGs, like, it's hard for us to compare. I'm like, whoa.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, get a Sony. You want to talk rare.
Yeah, that's another story entirely. But anyways, LG, looking for great things from them. I am excited to put the next flagship on our flagship comparator on our website. We have that little comparison database, so I'm excited to try that out.
And Ryan, you're asking, does the camera spec matter? Absolutely.
Well, I think, again, I'm not the spec. Depends on what we want to talk about spec, right? I mean, I did remember, does the camera spec matter? Like, I'll ask you, Sylvain, what do you mean when you want spec on a camera? What do you want?
I want a super good picture, good in low light, But this week we were talking about that a little bit. Cameras are good, but software behind it needs to be super good, which it's not always, right? The
rendering engine and the way that it converts it, right? So that's one thing you can look at. I mean, the one thing I hate seeing is a megapixel war. We saw these on the cameras.
Yeah,
don't
that's
want
just
that.
Silly.
So I really liked when HTC came out with the Ultra Pixel, the idea of being a better pixel. We don't need more pixels, we need better pixels. And I think the idea with having an f1.8 lens allows us to get better pixels, right? Better light in those pixels. So that's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. One thing that seemed kind of surprising to me is the depth of Google TV in a way? I mean, I know that they've brought out some other options, but Ryan, you really like your Google TV. So
Yeah, I do. So, I mean, Google TV's been dead for like a year now, if not more. Like they sort of stopped announcing support for the firmware for it. So that was understandable. So I was kind of surprised the other day when the App Store, the Play Store said, you have an app update for one of your apps. I'm like, oh, how old is my Google TV now? I think it's about 4 years old now. So it's hitting its stride, right? So
in the Google time frame, it's time to die.
Oh yeah, plenty of time to die.
If it was a dog, it'd now be trainable.
So Google TV. So I was and I like it. My son likes it. It has a keyboard. It's really, for me, it works way better than Nexus Player does. But it updated the YouTube app, and I was like, oh, okay, that'd be interesting to see what the YouTube app looks like now on Google TV, since it's based on Honeycomb. I can't see it getting any material design. But what happened is it removed the app. It actually removes the app from your app tray. It's gone, and it replaces it with a shortcut link to youtube.com/leanback. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with Leanback is the design platform they use for the Nexus Player or Android TV. And it's just a matter of the fact that they removed an app and replaced it with a web app. The amount of what you could do natively on this device now just was decimated. I couldn't log in. I couldn't see my own subscriptions. When I could eventually get to log in, you only saw like the last 5 episodes of any of my subscriptions, and I have a huge list of YouTubers I follow. And it was just a horrible experience. And so I had to re-sideload the APK from a version ago, and I'll never hit update because I don't know why they would do that. And to me, that just really says, okay, no, it's dead. It's not even dead. We're cutting the head off of it.
It doesn't sound like a good way of killing a product. At least let it die.
Or just leave it. Just don't change the app. Don't change the app, right? Essentially, because by doing that, they've not only changed, you removed a lot of the functionality, especially for what I did and what we used it for. Like 90% of what we do with the Google TV is my son watching YouTube videos. And it makes it so easy for him to use a keyboard and type at any time. Anyways, I wrote a whole post on it. If you want to take a look on the website, it's all there.
Ooh. Well, Sony's been busy. I got my Lollipop update for my Z3 Compact when we got back from holidays, and now they're updating the Z2 and all the tablets. Z2 series stuff, and I think they're working on the Zs now. Are they not, you guys?
I want to say Z1 was, they're talking about Z1. I know Mark just posted it. Z1, Z Ultra, I think eventually the Zs. And they even started talking like the E3 series and the T2 series. So, I mean, like, they're really kind of going back a fair bit. So you really got to give it to Sony for being one of the companies that really is about supporting. I mean, they're going.
Yes. Although you have to remember that these will not be carrier versions of the device, right? Like,
no.
Fred still doesn't have his Z3C isn't updating at all yet. So
in that sense, I think you'd have to go the same route that like Martin went, where he flashed the OEM build, not the carrier build, right? So that takes a little bit of plugging in, doing some little trickery to, which not a lot of people wouldn't be familiar or want to do, kind of thing, right? So.
Yes, that's kind of annoying. Just sort of like my dogs that must have seen rabbits outside.
It was Easter.
Yes, but they could just be good for half an hour. Moving on. HTC has released a device it must be just in Asia.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because it's not coming to North America or Europe, maybe South Asia and Asia. It is a large version of the M9. Is that right, Mark? Is that right, Ryan?
Yeah, so it's going to be a 5.2. So I mean, this is the M9 Plus, and it's not that much bigger than the M9 at 5.2 inches. Not much else is different. I think it's a slightly different processor. But I mean, otherwise, profile exactly the same as the M9. The difference being, it does have the dual camera on the back, the dual camera, so you can get that sort of special 3D effect or whatever from it. That also has the focusing option. But yeah, like you said, Cass, it's not going to be released in anytime soon, or probably not at all in terms of for North America. So just thought it would be interesting to point it out there. And I bring it in there also because I thought it was interesting to showcase that. I don't know if you guys saw the videos that Robert Downey Jr. did with for HTC, like the recent ones, where he got locked in a room with doing weird things. It was absolutely bonkers, like avant-garde to another level. So, in doing more weird things, HTC took a page out of OnePlus's book and decided to do a will it smash kind of test, and it's called what do they call it? Cano Smash or Cano Crush. So they have the baseball player Robinson Cano, and he just has like an iPhone thrown at him, and he smashes it with the baseball, bam. And again, but that's all they do is they just a picture of him smashing phones like a pitching batting cage. So there's an iPhone 6, a Note 4, a G3, which I kind of cringed at.
Okay, so now that I see that, okay, because I'm a OnePlus One user, why is this more acceptable done by HTC than OnePlus? Okay,
I'm not saying
Android phones. So what's the big deal? Why are people okay with HTC but not OnePlus?
No, keep this in mind too, though. I'm not saying it's acceptable whatsoever to destroy phone. And again, they provide no context whatsoever for why they're smashing these phones. It makes no sense why they're doing this.
Well, at least OnePlus had a reason.
So they had a reason, I guess, but at the same time, just one guy smashed one phone each. Smashed a total of 4 phones.
Yeah, true.
Whereas here's the contest, get you all to smash your phones, and you can potentially get one of our new devices. So, but I mean, OnePlus did come to be the good guy in the end and say, well, instead of smashing it, how about you donate it to a good cause, and we'll call it even same thing. But again, I thought that just HTC is really got to do something different with their marketing. I have no idea what they're attempting to accomplish with some of these things.
Yeah, we'll see what comes up.
They are turning a profit 2 quarters in a row, so they must be doing something right.
Good for them.
So
I like competition.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's move on to Android Auto. I think that it's great that they're actually starting to look at the UI for car systems. Like in my car, it's not bad, but it's not awesome. I have a jukebox. I have a 500 meg hard drive that can hold days of music, and it sucks for trying to find stuff in it.
Your phone too can hold music, and it can broadcast through Bluetooth. So,
but the point being is then you would have to drive and have your phone, right? Actually, I was listening to CBC Radio today. They're talking about that today, saying, well, why is it illegal for me to look over my phone and see what's on my phone versus turn the knob on the radio?
Oh, right? No, this jukebox is part of my, this isn't my phone. This is a hard drive in my car.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So you can be fiddling all you want with the weirdest controls on your console, right? Mm-hmm. And is it better than your Ford used to be? Or is it you had a Ford?
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah. For one thing, it doesn't even pretend to have voice control.
Yeah, voice sync is a...
So, I mean, there's terrible operating systems out there no matter where you go.
Yeah.
So Android Auto has a very simplified, in a very Android way that you don't come to know and love. So the question I have is, would you guys try Android Auto?
At what price?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I really like my vehicle. It will never be at the forefront of that kind of tech. It's a performance vehicle. But it would certainly make me look at an Audi instead, maybe, because Audi does get that stuff, and I find infotainment systems very, 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 very frustrating. So unless you have an app like BMW has an app where you can transfer Google Maps into your vehicle, and I think I'm supposed to be able to do it through AHA Radio, but it's not easy. I think that Android Auto really is the way that they should go with car infotainment systems.
Well, I think you have a nice point there. That it'd be nice to have things that are consistent, right? So whether it's the Apple CarPlay or it is the Android Auto would be that's one. So it's a system that you're used to. So
or that's even designed. Like seriously, if you have infotainment systems, they suck for design.
Yeah, they were not designed by.
They go touch the screen and hope for the best.
So I bring it up because one of our readers, Jace Hernandez, was just talking about he was trying to get Android Auto in Canada. So he's looking at getting a new stereo system for his car. He was in contact with some Pioneer people, and they said, we have the devices. They are in Canada ready to be sold. They can be with Apple CarPlay, or they can have Android Auto, either or. We just don't have the sort of certification, the approval from Google to let that portion of it work yet. So Google hates Canada, right? So we know that. But what ended up happening is, and I've been talking with Jace on Hangout series, he actually went out and he bought the Pioneer model, and I'll bring up what model it was. Let's see. It's the Pioneer NEX, I want to say 7100 or something it was called. Anyways, so he bought it. NEX 4100 he bought. It would be $800 as a car deck, essentially. I don't know, back in the day, I know a ton of people back in the day who would have paid way more than that for their car decks, etc. But, then you have Android on the device. So what he said he was able to do was install it, and then it doesn't have Android Auto, but I guess I must have just a regular Android operating system. And he was able to sideload an APK for Android Auto. So I'm wondering if you remember back in the day, was it remember like not Google Drive, what was it called? It was like Drive Mode. It used to be this thing that you could put your phone into.
Oh yeah.
And it had that little weird slash thing you can do things. So I'm wondering if it's just like essentially a simplified launcher that it can run. That's I don't know. I'm interested to see. I'm talking to him. We'll ask him to get his opinions on it and see what he thinks. But in terms of Canadians getting it, probably don't look anytime soon without having some sort of workaround, as per our normal, usual. That's how we don't really do things in Canada.
Well, I know when they had the auto version, I read about a lot of guys installing a tablet in their dashboard just so that they would have the Android, in a sense, a homemade Android Auto device. And people were really quite pleased with it. So, I'm sure that they can do a good job. It's not like they can do a worse job.
Yeah.
That's just me being entranced with infotainment systems. So let's move on. Sylvain, you finally got a version of Lollipop for your OnePlus One?
Yes, and what happened? Because last week I said, no, I'm going to wait for CM12S, and I'm patient. But on Monday night, something happened in my head, and I got a short circuit or something. And, well, the idea is that I needed to wipe my device, no matter what, at some point, because it's been 9 months with CM11S, and, files get here and there. You install apps, uninstall, you're left with data and all that. So it was a perfect opportunity. I read good reviews about it, better battery life. Yes, it's bare bone, and that's what I was bitching about, because there's no camera app other than Google Camera. But I did disable it. I installed Open Camera on it. What else did I do? They say that the files manager from Oxygen OS is buggy, so it doesn't matter. I always use Solid Manager anyway. And the biggest, almost a deal breaker for me was the toggles. I miss my toggles. I'm addicted to them, and barebone in Lollipop, there's not enough. And at the same time, Martin published an article reminding me about power toggles. Oh, and I just want to say, in Lollipop, they even removed, what's it called, Power Widget. We had that since I think the first version of Android, and all of a sudden it's not there anymore. But anyway, power toggles saved my life. Otherwise, I would go back to KitKat. And I have to say, it's like a new phone. It's so fast. Like I said, better battery life. I can see a difference. Overall, it's awesome. Like, I'm not going back. And you know what? I'm not even going to try CM12.
Oh, I was just going to ask that. Are you going to try?
No.
Try CM12.
No, I'm going to read reviews, watch videos about it, and be all happy. But you know what? This OS is perfect right now.
Nice. Did you try Paranoid Android before?
I did, I think, on my Nexus 5.
Yeah. I tried on my Galaxy Nexus years ago, and it was kind of nice and pack ROM. I used to play all the different ROMs, but it was always interesting. I was thinking about the camera app you were saying. Did you try getting the CyanogenMod mod camera app, or what was that one app? It was called Focal.
No, I just I tried Open Camera. Works. I have enough resolution for my 16:9. My widescreen pictures, so I'm happy with that. And also today I just wrote an article about a way we can help OnePlus to make the OS better. They released an app, simple app really. You have two tabs on it, bugs and features. I didn't have any bugs, so I didn't use that tab yet. But the feature one, I used it quite a bit today. And there's a few things that I absolutely want back. First of all, I need, I said add a network Wi-Fi option to Smart Lock. And I think, Cass, you're in the same boat, right? Where we used to use unlock with Wi-Fi, and it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it's not working. And if you want to have location-based unlocking, you have to have your GPS on. And it's just like, whoa, no.
The problem with that, I could drop my phone in the driveway and it would stay unlocked. It's not precise enough. Something that's missing, and I really need that, is the double tap to shut the screen off. Right now, Power Toggles does the job, but something that could come with the OS.
I like how my LG, I can, on the screen, I could double tap it on the main screen. But if I'm in an app, I double tap the notification bar.
It was like that in Cyanogen, but they removed that. It's gonna come at some point for sure. I think it's only version 1.0.0, so.
For sure, and that's what the idea of keeping those things going, right?
So far, really happy. Good job, OnePlus.
Good to hear. Well,
I want to make a quick comment before anybody move on there. Speaking of new devices and new whatever, I've seen Cass keep flicking her hair, and I notice
my bangs are too long.
No, but I'm noticing your new device.
Yeah.
So let everybody see what you got.
I was going to wait for the Urbane. However, with the Lollipop update, my Gear Fit stopped working altogether with my phone. And at work, I have my phone on silent. So I really do rely on my wrist. So I did get the Motorola 360. It's nice.
That's it?
Actually, I really like it. The only thing I miss is, if I hadn't reviewed the Gear S, I would love this device. However, I know what's possible, and
you've seen.
It's this is good. It will last me a couple years until I go back to Samsung and get back in that ecosystem. But it seems it's nice. It just runs out of the I find it runs out of battery quickly, and it sort of runs my phone out of battery as well. But I really like the charging system where you lie it on that wireless charger, I'm not that fond of the watch band.
But Cass, for your battery, what I did for mine, because I had, well, not trouble, but I was hoping for better battery life. Just don't keep your screen on.
No, it doesn't stay on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't keep my screen on.
Yeah, I want to say the 360 is a slightly smaller battery than us.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what I might actually do is block inbox, because I could care less about my email on my wrist. I don't care. All
Calls
I want on my wrist is, I just want Hangouts. I want to know if someone's calling, texts. So I think if I do that, that'll help a lot too. But other than that, it's a quite nice device. I see what you mean, Ryan, about the bezel on the glass and then in the flat tire business, but
I didn't mind the flat tire because I know that's what the sensor is for. That's where the sensor is. But anyways, just thought I wanted to get your quick thoughts on it.
Yeah, the driving thing for this was the heart rate monitor, having the heart rate monitor available. So that's why I was looking at the Zen, but the heart rate monitor isn't what I quite wanted. So
cool.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Cool beans.
So let's wrap up. You, Ryan, have a review coming up?
Oh, did it today, actually. Dean and I did the video out there. So Dean played with his little headphones. So Dean got his first accessory review, and he is more than excited about that device. So go check it out.
Well, and I'm trying out Magster. So they call it the Netflix of magazines. I read a lot of magazines on my tablet, so this is kind of a nice app. So far, I really, really like the variety of magazines available. So I'll probably put up a review. I have to find some time to read some magazines.
Interesting. I'm so much in newsstand. To see something else like this.
Yeah, it depends on what you want for your magazines. I do have Next magazine, and it's a little more interactive, but it also doesn't have the breadth of magazine available that you get with Magster. So if you like a lot of non-US magazines or non-North American versions, then I think you would definitely like Magster.
What's the price quickly?
I think it's $5 and $9 for a monthly.
Oh, not bad.
Like there's 2 levels, and you can also subscribe to magazines from within the app.
Thank you.
So it's sort of a combination of specific subscription and then being able to just pick and choose what you feel like reading that month. So it looks pretty good. I just need to read some magazines. And then, Sylvain, you have an app review out?
Yes, I just published it before the Hangout. It's a quick review about Show Tracker. If you want to track episodes you're watching on TV, it's pretty good. You can just click, I've seen this one, gives you the percentage of your progress, and even have statistics of how much TV you've watched.
I don't need to know that.
Yeah, you should try it. It's really good. And I made suggestions in my review, I guess, for the developer to look at. So I'll email him with the suggestions.
Well, I'm sure the developers like to get feedback because they'll never know what could make their app sort of the next really big thing if they don't get that kind of information. Okay, well, I think that's about it. All our topics have been hit. Do you guys have anything you want to add?
No, that's it for the day.
Viva OnePlus and Lollipop. That's all I can say.
I have a new device again. Actually, it was funny. When I went for my appointment in Edmonton, the tech that was testing my eyes, she said, "Oh, that's a very nice watch." And I said, "It actually works with my phone." And
Is that an iWatch?
Is that an Apple Watch? She just said, "Oh, I haven't seen a round one before." That's all she said. So she did not say, "Is that an Apple Watch?"
Speaking of the Apple Watch, and I'll close with this point.
No.
How we already know it's gonna fail is they're offering it to Apple employees for half off.
I don't think that necessarily means it's gonna fail.
It's an old car tactic. Get the employees to buy it at a deep price to see that at least some people are buying it. Anyways.
I think that's unfair.
Enough said.
Anyways.
I think that's unfair. So let's say goodbye.
Ciao, people.
See ya.
Have a great weekend. In a couple